Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, El Shai, Hashem, Harakar, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to those for elect, this is Payala. And this is News and Prophecy and News. I have an article here from Zero Hedge. And the title reads, Think carefully about accepting the concept of vaccine passports. Alright? So, as the title reads, it's an article. It's a provoke thought. Let's see what thought it's going to provoke. Alright? So it says, as the architects of the Build Back Better Society assist you in creating easier ways to show you're vaccinated and compliant status, perhaps it is prudent to pause and think about this discussion that take place behind the opaque glass doors. Right now, as you are reading this, under the guise of enhancing your safety, the US federal government is in discussions with multinational corporations and employers of citizens to create a more efficient process for you to register your vaccine compliance. Your vaccine compliance. You may know their conversation under the terminology of a Novid passport. The current goal is to make a system for you to show your authorized work status, which, as you know, is based on your obedience to a mandated vaccine. Now, this is what it makes me think about straight away, alright? Because you mentioned about compliance and your status as an employee. The word employee means slave, alright? So this is we're gonna get straight to the point. So this Exodus 21:5-6 says, and if the servant is breaking down the law of a Hebrew servant, alright, but this is the model in which Esau Edom, alright, the elites of this world, so-called Illuminati, basically operate upon, okay? Is where they get their ideas from, alright, but they just use it on the left-hand side. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, alright? Because why? Why would they say all those things? Because within this world, it operates under something known as maritime law, where basically as soon as you're pushed out of the waters, being that between of the womb of your mother, what happens is that you come under capitis demission. I can't remember the phrase fully right now, but basically you are a slave, all right, and you are a slave unto Esau Edom. So anyone you fall in love with, even though you weren't no arranged marriage, and Esau gave you this or that, he technically did, because you're all his possessions, and he's in the control of that. And in turn, that's why the system that's built, all right, is just it's strings without it's invisible strings. Basically, he controls everything without you being able to see the reach he has and the control he has over everything. Verse 6, then his master shall bring him unto the judges, he shall also bring him unto the door and unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Alright, awl, there's this thing known as a digital awl. Right, a digital awl is spoken of in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, and it's the charagma, alright? And that's where only all of this is heading, alright? And with that being said, I'll read on. Beta tests are being conducted in various nations, each with different perspectives and constitutional limitations based on peaky archaic rules. Pesky Salakia. My phone is a bit messed up, man. On pesky archaic rules and laws that govern freedom. For the Western, or for lack of a better word, democratic outlook, Australia is leading the way with the technological system of vaccination checkpoints and registered state national vaccination status tied to your registration identification. All right. So basically, if you want to maneuver in there within the confines of Australia, all right, you gotta basically show that the proof that you've been vaccinated, and you will be allowed to maneuver freely within the new normal, whereas before that wasn't the case. All right. But even now, they're doing other things whereby I haven't got the information on hand. I looked over it, but basically there's different forms of penalties for you not conforming to these things. Fines being put in place, and basically if you can't pay the fine, all right, you're gonna be incarcerated, all right, in internment camps. So you see what's happening is building up to that. All these things is the cocktail of destruction is being made, all right. They'll be eating and drinking it as they were in the time of Noah, right? But then also, all hell is going to be breaking loose at the same time. And that's how the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. Because of the spectrum of things are going to make people believe that everything is fine. And checkpoints are essentially gateways where QR codes are being scanned from the cell phones of the compliant, vaccinated citizen. Yes, comrades, there's an app for that. All right. Currently, the vaccine status scans registered by happy compliance workers, greeters at the entry to the business or venue. Indeed, the Walmart greeter has a new gadget to scan your phone prior to allowing you custody of a shopping cart. All right. In restaurants, the host or hostess has a similar compliance scanner to check you in prior to seating or reservation confirmation. All right. Let me quickly read this because this is the spirit just linking this scripture over and over again in my mind. So let me get to the point. It's the book of Revelations 13 and 16. It says, "And he calls with all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man," this is the point, "might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding, all right, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So basically, if you have that mark, all right, a charagma, you'll be able to maneuver. And this is what it's saying, all right, because this is all the laying down or the infancy of the system of the mark and the charagma, all right. So it says it's simple and fun. You pull up, and you know this article is just totally written in the vein of sarcasm. All right. So it says it's simple and fun. You pull up your QR code on the cell phone, aka portable transponder and registration device, using the registration app, and your phone is scanned, delivered a green check response to confirm your correct vaccination status and authorized entry. The Australian government is working closely at both a federal and state level, is working closely with big tech companies first in for the national contract to evaluate the best universal process that can be deployed nationwide. As noted by all 6 premiers in the states down under, hardware scanners and software registration systems are all being tested to find the most comprehensive, convenient pool. And this word convenient is just, this is the word of Esau, of that just spells trouble, man. Convenience. All right. Anything that relates to convenience usually relates to death, man. All right. And why do I say that? Because it feeds into, we're in the flesh, all right. We're in the third dimension, but you're powered by your spirit, all right, which is in essence something of the fourth dimension, a gateway to the Heavenly Father, all right, His power. Now, being in this tangible world, it's convenient for you to feed into all your bodily desires and lusts. If you're hungry, it's convenient for you to eat because you won't be stressed out, or you won't, sluck, a better word to use is, you won't have to utilize discipline to resist your hunger, all right? And this trickles down to everything, and now technology has just become a thing of great convenience for everything within life, right? And in doing so, that's how this charagma is going to come into play, all right, with malicious intent. So convenient, portable, man, what's going on? Convenient, portable units to settle upon. Meanwhile, in the U.S. cities like Los Angeles and New York await a beta test conclusion before deploying an old version of the same process. In Europe, they are also testing their vaccine checkpoint and registration processes known as the EU Green Pass. The Green Pass is similar. So let me even read this, because what did it say? It said, it mentioned America, started with Australia, America, and it was speaking on Europe, or the EU, should I say, the 10 horns, right? The European Union. But the article actually started by saying what? That due to pesky laws and democracy basically set in place is making it difficult for them to establish their agenda. All right. Revelations 13, 14, and 15. And deceiving them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles, right? Really dealing with the missile technology, the nuclear missile technology, but also what technology in general, as like a man, all right? Doing, the science, falsely so called, all right? By means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, and saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. And that's what's going on. The image is basically the laws, statutes, and everything that pertains to the lifestyle of this world, all right? They all conform to it. That's why the cancel culture is rife right now, and no one's speaking out against it. But well, if they do, they're getting steamrolled out of there immediately, quick, fast. And that's because they're all falling in line with that image, making that image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. So let's read on. So it says, the Green Pass is a similar technological system that gives a vaccinated and registered citizen access to all venues and locations previously locked down while the Novid virus was being mitigated. All right. So it says, what would have been called a vast right-wing conspiracy theory 24 months ago is now a Novid passport process well underway. And that's the real, all right? And that's the meme that came out, a year plus now. But people still, they got normalcy bias, man. They're just overlooking stuff. If someone would have told you this in 2019, you would say, whatever, man, that ain't gonna happen. But guess what? It's happening. All right. The conspiracy theorists are right. And what you're gonna really find out is that the Israelites are right, headed by the apostles of Great Millstone on down, man. All right. As with all things in our rapid technological era, you do not have to squint to see the horizon. I'm reading. I'm reading like I'm 2 years old, man. Horizon. See the horizon and accept the eventuality, the eventual. That eventually this process will automate, and there will be a gadget or a scanning gateway automatically grants you access without a person needing to stand there and scan each cell phone QR code individually. All right, and this is something that we've been seeing throughout the world. All right, for example, when you go to airports, if you have I deal with the UK, if you have an up-to-date passport, or a couple years ago, because they've updated it over time, it was more, you could more see the NFC tech within the former passport, because I got two within, with the two different forms of technology, and the most recent one is less noticeable. But then you had gateways where you just basically walk up, put your passport on the gateway, and you just walk straight through. Alright, so those things are right there. But they're saying this is going to be done with a Maxine passport. Now, even dealing with the word passport and how the passports came around, it was around the time of World War One, I believe, I want to say, where they basically made it. Before that, you could travel without a passport. But they then brought it in, saying that it's going to, keep the lines of transport secure. Alright? So that shows you that was something that if you go back 200 years ago, there was no such thing as a passport. I'm sure even less time than that. All right, there was no such thing. This is a new thing. So what does that show? It shows that all your rights, your so-called rights, all right, the freedom to move within the world, is being restricted from you, and it's being done by this devil. All right. So let me read this. I'm living in Revelations right now. It's Revelation 21. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit. Now that devil, that dragon, the old serpent, saw my Esau Edom. And this happened after the time of the Roman rule, where Esau fell from favor in the world, and basically was shunned into the Caucasus Mountains and became a base man. Just read Job, the 30th chapter. All right, that was a seal being set upon him for 1,000 years in the time of what he calls the Dark Ages, or also known as the Middle Ages. Verse 3: and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So we're now presently in that little season where he's being loosed and deceiving the people. All right, and that's why the reason why I mention that is because they're being deceived to think that this is normal. This is the best way for things to be governed. All right. As with all things in our rapid technological era, you do not have to squint. So I've read this already. Salakia. The automated process just makes sense, convenient. You are well aware your cell phone readily transmits an electronic beacon, enabling your Uber or Lyft driver to access to your location at the push of a touchscreen button, another convenient app on your phone. So why wouldn't the gateways just accept the same recognizable transmission as registration of the Maxine compliant arrival at the coffee shop? The automated version is far easier and way more cool than having to reach into your pocket or purse and pull out a pesky QR code on the screen. Smiles, everyone. The partnership between big tech and big government is always there to make your transit more streamlined and seamless. Heck, you won't even notice the electronic receiver mounted at the entry. Give it a few weeks and you won't remember the reason you were laughing at Alex Jones anymore. Then you remember why you were taking off your shoes at the airport. And these are all things that have happened, alright? It's how it goes, alright? Normal, the new normal, alright? So it says, however, as this process created, it is worth considering that you are being quietly changed from an individual person to a product. Some are starting to worry about the beta test, right? Man, this goes into why I just read the Exodus. I haven't read this article, but it just shows you the maritime law and everything, alright? Yeah, I kind of want to leave it there. But I definitely suggest, who knows, throughout the course of the week, Lord willing, the Lord keeps his spirit upon me to do these videos. I may do an impromptu video and just go through a myriad of articles, and I may bring this back up as I save them throughout the course of the week. Man, that is an old picture. But I used to have that card, and they don't make them like that no more. Alright, so that's that. So with that, man, I pray you are edified to the next one. I say shalom, shalom.